Welcome to Dance to Heal. I'm your host, Jenny C. Cohen. Join me as I share stories of how dance and movement can bring healing in a way that is safe and tailored to your life. I'm a cancer survivor, mother of two, and an award-winning performer who found that movement was vital to my recovery. I created Dance to Heal Wellness and also authored the best-selling book, Outside in Recovery, Dancing My Way Back to Myself After Breast Cancer. I will bring new techniques to help you on your dance journey and healing path. Are you ready to move? Dance to Heal starts now. Janessa Finley Ford is an empowerment coach, radio show host, and writer guiding leaders, healers, and high achievers in mindset mastery, emotional processing, and a clear spiritual connection to mastering the art of being human. Through energy psychology and mindset alignment, Janessa inspires you to ignite your inner power and turn your trials into triumph. Oh, wow, folks, you are in for such a special time. Janessa, welcome.
Hi, Jenny. Thanks for having me.
So please.
Yes, excited to be here.
Hi, so listen, please tell the audience, we just heard about all your accolades. What started you on this journey?
My own healing process, right? So I heard last week that we go through 3 stages in life. The first is up until about 30 years old of just living experiences. And then from 30 to 50, it's this healing journey or rectifying and resolving the experiences we had up until our 30s. And I don't know what the last one was because I literally stopped my brain and I laughed out loud because my gift to myself for my 30th birthday was an energy psychology session, which began my healing journey. So not to get in the weeds of my background, but growing up young, I had repressed memories of sexual assault that I did not recover until well into my healing journey in my mid-30s, which really set the stage for the challenges I had in relationships, primarily, both with myself and other people. So eating disorder, lots of physical bronchitis, physical health issues, divorced after 1 year of marriage, married at 21, divorced at 22, and just kind of a really rough road and not a lot of self-accountability along that rough road either, if I'm being truly honest. And I decided that path in life wasn't what I wanted because I just was spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically bankrupt at every level. And I didn't know, being very focused in the physical, I didn't know how I was going to make it total retirement. And I wasn't yet 30 years old. So I was working in the criminal justice field, which was really high demand and not well financially compensated. And I was enjoying what I was doing, but I was so burnt out, and I was burnt out at every level. And I didn't have relationships that supported me in the way I desired. I still have some lifelong friends, and so they've been through it all. And this is no disrespect to them. It was my ability to connect. And I love them so much for going through all of my phases and forms with me to now connect on a deeper level. And so yeah, it really just was so much dissatisfaction in every area of my life. I'm like, I do not know what my potential really truly even is. I just know I'm woefully underliving it.
Ooh, you're giving me chills. Wow. Yeah. So audience, the trigger warning is that with SA, for most of us, if we went through it, we may not remember it. And part of my healing process was acknowledging that something happened because it was still affecting my relationship. This is something resolved. I've done so much work on this. Something as simple as I am married 30 years already. and with the same person 35 years. And you would think I would feel safe, right? I've been with this person over 30 years for most of my life, basically, now that I'm 55, half, more, 60, 70% of my life. And yet there was a period of time when we were snuggling, I could not abide an arm or leg thrown over me. So if we were spooning, just that physical act would make my breathing accelerate, and I would feel as if someone was suffocating me. And we couldn't figure out why until I started doing that work. So what are some things, audience, as we're speaking about things like this, what are some things that you don't have rhyme or reason? It interrupts your maybe getting close with yourself or other people or community. Another example is when I was very involved in the American belly dance scene. And it was always me feeling, oh, they never give me a seat at the table. They never give me a seat at the table. And it was this, I always have to be of service, Janessa. It was never, oh, you can just come and be a part of the community. And has I done this work? It's been this reflection. I put myself there. I would come in and be, how can I serve you? When they were happy, I showed up. And so the shift in my saying, well, maybe I don't want to become a professional belly dancer. It's hard work, y'all. And I wanted more time with my husband and my children who were growing up at the time. It wasn't because they weren't giving me the seat at the table. I made a subconscious decision. I didn't want to do that work.
Yeah, our subconscious really, really drives everything. And I know that you talk about that at length here. But it's incredible how much out of touch with my subconscious I was in the relationships that I was building, the career I was building, when I was very hurt and not healing, but trying to find my way through those life experiences to the next thing outside of myself that would bring me the gratification or the relief. For me, a lot of that was athletics. Particularly as I got outside of high school and college, running, pretty high impact on the body, weight training, and then having injuries because I was pushing my body too far. This, is being driven from the subconscious because I had such deep-seated pain that I was trying to navigate, looking for something outside of myself, and it provided zero answers until I finally found a way to go within and unwind, unbind, release what was there from the past, and then be able to step forward into the future that I desired.
I love that. Would you give this amazing audience that's tuned in today, would you give them some beginning steps towards something like that? How does one go within? Of course, folks, you gotta look up Janessa at fiercelyradiantsoul.com. All right. So that's understood. You gotta go to her website and look up at what her current offering is. Check out her podcast. However, some of us want to figure out, well, does what she suggests even work for me first? So what would you suggest? Some 3 tips.
Yeah. First of all, we do have an episode all around going within on Eyes Wide Open. And so if you want to go deeper into this, please do. One of the things I didn't talk about heavily in that episode, because I wanted to have variation of content, is words. I really want to focus on linguistics or words here today. And so how to go within can be as simple as paying attention to the words you're speaking, the language that you're using, the words that you casually speak to your partner, a friend, as you describe a situation. And for me personally, I noticed it more showing up in other people when they spoke. And then I started really tuning into myself and listening to myself, because I would hear other people use these sayings or idioms, no pain, no gain, or all is fair in love and war. And that's something that really commonly, things such as beat around the bush or bite the bullet. There are these sayings that just get intermixed into our language society your homes. I'm sure your parents have common little things they used all the time, but it builds your belief system. And so if you're really coming to a place of relationship with other people where your belief is built upon everything is fair in love and war, there's not really any tactics of war I want in your relationships or in love. And I'm not sure about you, but if you really sit and question this, do you really think that everything is fair in war? Like, does this saying really even align with your truth, first of all? So my first suggestion is just listen. Listen to the words people speak. Listen to the words you speak. And another key piece of this is that what you're speaking is also an indication of what's going on internally, because we all have that voice in our head. And based upon personality, some people are going to have a really intense critic. I'm one of those people. Some people will have a really intense critical committee inside their head. So it's not just one voice, it's many. And other people are listening to this right now and they're like, I actually can't imagine a voice inside my head that's always tearing me apart. Mm-hmm. So some of it could be who you were raised by. Some of it can for sure be personality. I bring this up just to give us some freedom and liberation around sometimes we talk so much about what we experienced in our youth or growing up to just stand in our own autonomy of who we are, and that everything that we're experiencing is an opportunity for growth, for learning, for dancing in this playground of life that we're in, to collect all the glorious little gems of wisdom that we can along the way. So I just wanted to break that down a little bit too, because sometimes the personality structure, which is not permanent, guys. If you're listening to this, personality can be refined and rewritten, just like all of the traumas or experiences you've had in the past. But what you're saying, what you're speaking to other people is a small indication of what's going on inside. And the majority of people I work with, Jenny, I guess this is the same, but I would love for you to weigh in on this. They actually approached by a friend seeking the same advice from them. They would actually be giving their friend different advice than what they're berating or telling themselves inside of their head.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
So when I say it's an indication, an indication of what's going on inside, it's usually not actually a true mirror or projection in that way. We're typically much harder on ourselves than we are other people. So what you're speaking out loud will just begin to peel back the curtain for you to really get in tune and in touch with, are you your best friend? Are you building yourself up? Or are you tearing yourself down? Because you are you everywhere you go.
Yep.
So if you're constantly on your own back, things are going to be much more challenging than if you show up with grace, love, and compassion for yourself. Mm. And all of that is words, guys. All of that is words, because what we're speaking internally in our head is also words.
Love it.
So the second tip, I've already alluded to really, but I think that it is so profound and it can create so much liberation. It is its own point to be made. And that's to question. Question what you're saying, what you're thinking. Is it truth? Maybe it was truth 5 minutes ago. Maybe it was truth a month ago. Maybe it was truth 20 years ago. But is it your truth now? Do you want to continue to carry that belief, or is it time to rewrite it? So really constant self-inquiry is going to really move mountains with your relationship with yourself. Because you'll catch yourself doing things and you're like, this doesn't make any sense. I want to, have, this was me. Okay. Literally, true story. I want to have a relationship. I want to have a long-term, committed, safe, secure, passionate, fulfilling relationship. I'm going to get on a dating app to meet a friend. I just want to go to some new places I've never been before. I might find a new restaurant or location in town that I'll enjoy visiting. I might meet a lifelong friend because I had previously met a lifelong friend on a dating app. We never ever dated. It was completely platonic, and I'm so grateful for their friendship. So this is me. I want a relationship, and I'm going to get on the dating app just to hang out with some people. Now, there is some divine intervention because literally, true story, I met my husband when I signed up on that dating app. But I wasn't all in committed, and he really had to give me some space to grow. And I had to challenge a lot of my beliefs about commitment and what I was available for. So I wanted this long-term, secure, passionate connection. But was I able to provide that same commitment and security to him? And I for sure was not in the beginning. That's something I had to grow into. But it was through that self-inquiry, instead of pointing the finger at him that he wasn't doing something to make me secure. Like Jenny, you gave a great example of that in the beginning too. It's not a duration of time. It's finding that security within yourself. But if I hadn't questioned myself, my own thoughts, my own beliefs, and I just looked external for him to make me comfortable, that relationship would have never flourished. So self-inquiry will just like turn lights on for days within yourself. I know it's a simple tip, but it's so profound. It's a process where there is no destination. The whole thing's the journey. So then the final point for you guys, number 3, it's more than just a word. We as humans are equipped with all of our glorious 5 senses. So I have an exercise for all of you out there listening to do right now. And Jenny, you can jump in here and actively do the exercise. If you want to demonstrate, you certainly don't have to. But with words, we have representations of how it looks, smells, tastes, sounds, things you would never think about with words unless you're pointed back to do so. And this is a fun thing I like to explore with my clients as well, because I know I've talked a lot about relationships here today, which is something I really love to work with clients on. But we work on all sorts of things. But to the tune of relationships, I'll just continue using those examples since that's been the focus. When I work with individuals who are wanting, similar to what I wanted, this passionate, secure relationship, I'll ask them, what is marriage to you? And you get the idioms, right? Oh, it's the old ball and chain. Oh, really? In your relationship, do you want someone weighing you down, a ball and chain that you're dragging around behind you? Think about that literally and not figuratively. Or do you want someone that lifts you up and supports you and compliments you, brings out your strengths, helps you build upon your weaknesses, probably compliments you so that you fit together like a puzzle piece. So your weaknesses are their strength and vice versa. And together you're a stronger team. Or do you want a ball and chain? But then I'll ask them, what does marriage feel like? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel light? Does it feel supportive? Does it feel like a warm, cozy blanket? Does it feel like a prickly porcupine? We all have representations of words connected to our senses. And then what does it smell like? Does it smell putrid? Does it smell like rotten eggs? Does it smell like your favorite candle? What does it smell like? And what does it taste like? Is it sultry, sweet? Is it your least favorite vegetable in the entire world? Is it that curdled milk? that you failed to look at before you poured a glass and took a drink? What does it smell like? And what does it sound like? Does it sound like a sweet symphony? Does it sound like raging rock and roll, heavy metal? Does it sound like nails on a chalkboard?
That's amazing.
And then what does it look like? Sorry, I'm like, we have 5 senses and that was only 4. Which am I missing? What it looks like. So the last one would be what it looks like. And then having the ability, and you guys, if you're doing this exercise now, go ahead and breathe, because I'm setting the intention here and doing the integrations through your energy system to be able to erase any of those negative connotations and representations that your senses hold for that concept of marriage. But where we have those negative connotations with the words, it doesn't actually create the space to build the harmony, the happiness, the joy, the peace. And that's all from a word, one word, marriage. You dig into responsibility, commitment. When you look at the areas of life where you're wanting to develop or you're feeling a little bit stuck, and just focusing on one word and rewriting that definition or the representations we have within our senses can actually make it feel warm and cozy rather than making it feel like struggle and strain or
Oh, I love that. Thank you. That was a masterclass right there, y'all. I hope you really are understanding the reason why you're here right now with us, audience, is because you really needed this. This is a little heads up, wake up call for you to really understand those 3 simple tips of listening to your words. Wait, what was the second one? I loved them.
self-inquiry. Yeah, self-inquiry.
Right? And then the third, I'm asking about what the second one, which is self-inquiry. And then the third one was understanding the ramifications of even each word you're using. I'm going to add one more layer, audience, which I struggled with a lot in my recovery, which I would always get this exercise, and I used to actually get mad, which was envision your perfect day. And I would get stuck because I thought I was married to that initial version of my perfect day. Janessa's exercise isn't for you to do once and that's the end all be all answer to your life. We're asking you to begin this journey. So what you start with today may look different as you're healing and shifting. When we're healing ourselves, you think you need this right now, and it's going to get you to the next layer of your recovery and you're coming back to yourself. That's the biggest thing. I really, really love that first thing, which was the listen to the words that are being used around you and then listen to what you're saying outside of you. Some of us are never given permission to use our own words. Some of us,
such a good point,
right? Most of us are just parroting what we've heard, and or we're rarely given platforms to even speak and held in grace as we're learning to speak. I want you to hear this, folks. We're saying to you, we're giving you permission to speak, and then just listen to what's coming out. Please give yourself that grace. There's actually no judgment. We're just showing you another way to look at how you're conducting your life. Has a means of, if this doesn't serve you, which direction do you want to move in where it does? That's the key. Janessa, I'm just so, I got chills running up and down my body, and I'm so excited about this, just these 3 simple tips, and yet, again, a masterclass conducted in 10 minutes for you audience. So I'm going to remind them again, go to fiercelyradiantsoul.com, check out Janessa's episode about words, the words that you use. Come back to this episode and re-listen to it. Feel free to put questions. If you're on the YouTube channel, put questions in the comments and we'll come back and have Janessa address them, or she may just comment underneath them. I personally would prefer her to just come back and we'll just do a part B to this interview. Would you be willing to do that, Janessa? Come back.
Yeah. Yes, I would love to, but I really want to. You're always so on point, but to the theme of dropping the comments, like give yourself permission to use your words. Like Jenny is saying, we've never had permission. Give yourself permission. Use your words to ask questions so we can go deeper. So we definitely want to deliver what's going to serve and support you where you are and meet you where you are. So use your words and help guide us in supporting you.
Yes. And I'm going to end with a reminder. Sometimes before we do that, you have to come back into your body. And if you go to danceandheal.com and you get my gift of that class, that's that little pinch of something that helps you begin to use your words. And that's okay. Thank you so much for coming, Janessa. We'll see you guys next time, folks. Thanks for listening to Dance to Heal with Jenny C. Cohen. Come back next time to hear stories of recovery through movement and learn more ways that you can move your body. To work with me and continue your journey, visit OutsideInRecovery.com. Are you ready to move?